I've got something to say, and I hope you want to listen. And I appreciate your time, your energy, and your ear. This is Mickey Shook with Carry Trainer. Just so you know, I do very much appreciate your ear. Talking to you guys is cathartic for me to get out all the things I'm thinking and feeling. So thank you again. I want to talk about what's going on in the world. We got mob rule in cities. We've got city councils, mayors, county boards, sheriffs, police chiefs, state's attorneys, state governments bowing to the will of mobs, criminal mobs. People that are more concerned with their political careers, their ability to earn a living off the backs of you and I, than doing what's right. Look, I'm all for speaking your piece. I'm all for protest. I'm all for changing the world. But if your choice is to do so infringe upon the rights of others through violence and mayhem, you're nothing but a thug and a criminal. Facts. Nothing stays the same. This is true. Our republic is always in flux, and it is a fantastic thing that we are not the same as we once were. It is awesome that my little girl and my wife can vote. It is awesome that the people that I know that have color in their skin darker than mine are not slaves and get to live whatever life they choose. It is awesome that we have the ability to petition our government. It is awesome that we can go run for any office possible that we choose. Any, you can do it. It's work, might be really, really hard, but you can do it. That's fantastic. But these men, when they put this nation together, they knew things we didn't. You know, back in the day, when a guy, not a gal, unfortunately, because, and it's cool that things changed, they didn't go learn like the men did. When they were considered learned, so we go to university now, when a man was considered learned, he not only studied things like mathematics and astronomy, but he studied Latin and Greek. He studied the works of Aristotle and Plato. They went back and they looked at not just the sciences, which we know more about science and the natural world than any of them combined then, but what they knew were things about the way humans interacted, about communication. See, they weren't fettered by all of this nonsense, even the way we're communicating now. You ever think about social media? I kind of imagine it to be me standing in a sandstorm and all that sand swirling around me is voices, tweets, posts, and it's just like you're trying to grab a bit of sand, and that's one interaction. All the while it's all swirling around. They were completely unfettered by that. They conversed like this. They conversed and communicated with the written letter. You were more mindful and thoughtful about how you communicated. And they studied, like I said, Aristotle, Plato, the ancients, which doesn't mean that they were the end-all, be-all, but it was a different way of life. You know, if I could build a bus that was a time machine and drive through suburbia and cities across America and fill that bus up and go back in time, maybe to 1750, right as the rumblings of liberty begin in the colonies, and I dump that bus there, I wonder where most Americans that I picked up would be. I also wonder how long they would make it in that time. Most of them would not make it because we have a bunch of weak people. I wonder if I took that same bus to 1777, where those people would be. I wonder if I took that same bus to 1830 to cities like Charleston, slave trading towns. I wonder where most Americans across America, if they went back in time there, where they would be to a city like Charleston or Memphis. I wonder where those same people would be in 1863 in the heart of the Civil War or in 1960. See, I don't give a shit what God you serve. I don't give a shit how much pigment God put in your skin, light or dark. Why would I care? And why should you? I don't care where you were born. I am very interested in your ethnicity because I think it's cool. I am very interested in the culture and the heritage of where you came from or where your family and your ancestors came from. The foods you like, the music, that's cool. But the fact that we judge each other based on our skin color or our God is really a sad thing. But you know what? The ancients knew this. It's what humans do. So you can choose to rise beyond that, or you can choose to continue to play. You can use Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and whatever social media apps you use to sit in a vacuum, an echo chamber with your friends and family and loved ones, and you can all say the same thing to each other and do nothing. Or you can rise above. You can be a voice in that sandstorm that makes a difference, that means something. You know, as I studied our history of our nation, and I've just talked to you about how those men were so learned, most of them, for their time, they knew that today we would have these same battles to fight. See, the thing is, though, tyranny now is not the monarch. Tyranny now is not the police. See, because the police are we the people. I own my police station. My neighbors own the police station in town. It's not owned by the city. Our city is owned by the residents of our community. The people that work in our sheriff's office, they work there because me and my neighbors say they get a job. I know that. My neighbors may or may not know that. I don't know if you know that. Your congressman works for you. People need to remember that. That doesn't mean that you get angry and tear a city down, though. See, we've forgotten about facts. All of a sudden, it's okay to try and hang somebody before they get a jury, before they get a day in court, before they get to speak their mind and get to show their side. That man in Seattle this past week that was accosted by a mob in his car that had to fire one round to save his skin because people were tearing his car apart, is now being tried with a felony. I don't know all the facts, but I'm going to look and see, and I've been kind of keeping up on it. We jump to conclusions. We want to be heard, but we don't want to hear. We want to say everything we think we know, but we don't give a shit about anybody else's opinion. I'm sick of it. These men then, they knew a thing or two. They had time to ponder. They had time to think. They had to be mindful. You couldn't just pump another tweet out. Thomas Paine, one of the very influential figures of our revolution, wrote The Crisis. December 23rd, 1776. I'm going to paint a picture for you. The Army of Washington was at Valley Forge. They're up Schitt's Creek. They're running out of food. They don't have proper clothing. They're running out of munitions. Morale is tanked. They're getting their ass handed to them by the strongest, most potent army ever mustered on the planet, Britain. When Paine sat down to write this, to stir the hearts of men, he didn't go to these people and say, you need to try harder, you need to dig deeper. He didn't say, I'm paying you, you're getting paid, get out there and kick ass. You know what he said? These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods. And it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. He didn't choose to tell them they need to work harder. He reminded them of why they were there. Without liberty, we have nothing. There's no reason for religion without liberty. There is no reason to raise a family. There is no reason for an education. There is no reason to own a business. There is no reason for money. There is no reason for anything without liberty, because without it, we cannot live. We cannot enjoy. We cannot derive any true goodness from life without liberty. And we are so spoiled here at this place that we have this liberty that the whole world strives to get. We piss it away now because other men and women than most of us carried a load that most of us are afraid or too damn lazy to pick up. They carried that load in our place so that today we can have these conversations. If I sound like a broken record, it's all I got. I'm tired. I'm concerned. I'm watching our cities tore apart, and we can be better. We can do better. Remember what happened here. Remember all of the work that was done, the millions and millions of hours of other people's lives traded by men like Martin Luther King, traded by men like Abraham Lincoln, traded by men like Washington, Thomas Paine, so that we can be here today. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods. And would it be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated? How do you rate the freedom that you have? How do you rate it? On a scale of 1 to 10, how many stars do you give your freedom? You can't. It is unrateable. There is no price that can be put upon liberty. Yet we sit and tear each other apart while it is stripped from us. Wake the fuck up. Pay attention. Start to care about what people say. People are tearing streets apart, and they have a reason that they're doing that. They don't know how to get it out. Why don't you go ask? Why don't you go talk to your neighbor and say, how can I help you? How can we solve the problems of our community together? Yes, there are true criminals out there tearing streets up. Yes, they should be dealt with. Yes, there are bad cops. Yes, they should be dealt with. Yes, there are bad parents, bad teachers, bad pastors, bad priests. They all should be dealt with. Look within. That's really the only place you're ever going to find the answers that you're looking for anyway. That's it. That's all I got.